Mike, check. Let's go. What up, villain? Haven't heard from you in a while, man. Let's get it. Let's go. Yeah, man. Random live stream. Random live stream. Let's see if we can get some of the crew to show up. I don't have any plans of making this a regular thing. Like, I'm just gonna pop in, say what's up, catch up a little bit, and then we're going back to the void. But I figured, why not? In fact, I flipped a coin. I did best 2 out of 3. I was like, you know what? 2 out of 3 heads and we go live, baby. Let's get it. What time does UFC start? I think we should have probably like a couple hours. Maybe the early prelims are starting soon. Twitter war is working nicely. What does that mean? Am I going to war on Twitter? Perhaps. Perhaps. Let's see what time UFC starts. Yeah, I have a couple of times. I've gone back and forth a couple of times. Yeah, it was just kind of a random decision, man. I never officially announced that I was going to stop streaming, but I kind of just did. It's been on my mind the last few days because I'm kind of like out of ideas for videos for the time being. I'm sure that will change soon enough, though. 5'8", baby. All muscle, all man. Dude, so I've had a scare lately. It's like a pelvic floor issue. I can't tell what it is. It's either a weak pelvic floor, early onset of a hernia, or it could even be like a bladder infection. Bladder infection, early onset of a hernia, or weak pelvic floor. It started from doing RDLs. Dude, I've hurt myself with every kind of deadlift at this point. I've hurt myself with every variation of a deadlift, tweak my back with conventional deadlifts, sumo deadlifts, and now the RDLs, which if you don't know what that is, I start from a rack. I pick it up off of the rack, and then it doesn't really touch the floor. You go like just above your ankles and then go up. But I got up to 245 for like a set of 6. That was the heaviest I ever did it. There was no sudden pain, but I've kind of had this like uncomfortable pressure in my pelvic area. And when I have to piss, like it's a little bit uncomfortable. Well, it's been weeks now, and it feels like it's on its way out. It's been frustrating because the stuff that would really upset it was like doing planks. It's been hard to train abs. If I go for a run or if I jump rope or when I'm hopping around shadow boxing, that kind of brings some discomfort to it. But it feels like it's on its way out. Like I did a nice long training session yesterday, 8 rounds. Well, 6 rounds shadow boxing, 1 round shadow wrestling, 1 round jump rope. And then I did 3 more rounds on a heavy bag. So it feels like it's on its way out. It's not completely gone, but it was definitely annoying. But I think that's kind of working its way out. So yeah, I'm going way lighter on the RDLs now. Like, dude, if your hamstrings get sore, if your muscles get sore, then you're using plenty of weight. That's my new philosophy. Like, if you're using a lighter weight and you get sore, then, you know, you can go up like 5 pounds, but there's no reason to like stack up a ton of weight. Summer has been all right. It's definitely not been bad, but at times it's been kind of bland. I decided to switch it up today. I was like, hey, instead of making a coffee and eating some honey, let's go get a huge iced coffee. And I feel like it was kind of a mistake. It's whatever. It tastes all right. I didn't need to get this huge one. I got the largest size. I feel a little bit cracked out. Somebody cut me off on the drive home. That kind of pissed me off. Ooh. Is driving hard? What do you mean, bro? Do you not drive? Nah, dude, like, I'm good at driving. Yeah, so that's been kind of like something that held me back in life. I didn't drive in Vegas. I feel so dumb looking back on that, bro. Like, yeah, driving's not hard at all. Anytime I come across somebody on the internet and they say they don't drive, it's like, bro, just learn how to drive, bro. I had a fear of driving in the city, and as soon as I like started doing it, I immediately realized that I'm an idiot for not driving. Dude, this guy was a total idiot. It was completely his fault. I flipped him off, dude. And I thought maybe it was my neighbor. I was like, oh shit, this guy's car kind of looks like my neighbor's car. And I'm drinking this iced coffee. I'm drinking this freaking iced coffee and I'm all pumped up and I'm like, oh great, is this my neighbor? I envisioned it. He was gonna be like, dude, you cut me off. Or no, he cut me off. He's like, dude, I saw you flip me off. It's like, yeah, I did. And if you want, I can beat your ass too. I was getting all like pumped up in my head. I didn't give up on music. It's just, you know, it takes a while. Dude, I think my last gig of Stoic song is great. Like, I hate talking myself up, but, and you're climbing over many mountains. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. How the hell does that song go? I feel like that song's inspired by Grimes and Churches. All my life, all my life, all our lives. It is more than just a dream this time, and you're climbing over many mountains. I love that song. The thing is, anytime I make a song, you know, it gets a few hundred views, it gets a couple comments, and then just like nobody cares. So I just made a community post like, dude, if you guys can like just leave comments on my videos, it's like, you know, not as many people bought my book as I thought were going to. I asked people to leave reviews. People aren't doing that. It's like, dude, if you guys want to support, man, like, you can just leave comments on my videos. Leave a couple likes. I would appreciate a little bit more support, bro, but I'm not trying to, like, beat people's doors down about it. Here's a good heavenly lineup. Ozzy on vocals, Eddie Van Halen on guitar, Randy Rhoads on rhythm, Lemmy on bass, Vinnie Paul on drums. I was wondering who you were going to pick on drums, dude. Yeah, Vinnie Paul could get the job done. I'll tell you that much. Vinnie Paul can get the job done, damn straight. Genre-wise, that's a little bit like everybody else. I mean, shit, Ozzy gets his old guitar player, Randy Rhoads. Eddie Van Halen would fucking shred with Ozzy and Randy Rhoads. Lemmy on bass. I forgot that Lemmy was a bass player. But Vinnie Paul on drums, that have a sharp edge, dude. That have a sharp edge to it. I was lying. You're not good looking. That's like that episode of Family Guy where Stewie had a gun to what's the guy in a wheelchair? Joe. He had a gun to Joe's back. He's like, "Hey, no. He had a gun to Brian, the dog's back. He's like, tell Joe that he's really good looking. Hey, Joe, I want to say that you're really good looking. Oh, well, thank you, Brian. Now tell him you were just kidding. You're not. It's like, oh, come on, he needed that. Haha, just kidding. You're not. Oh, well, that sure ruined my day. Dude, I was trying to look up what time UFC starts, and I think I failed. The runs are feeling pretty smooth, man. I did a 6-mile run on the treadmill. I went back to running on the treadmill. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit easier running on the treadmill. Because there's like a fan on my back, and I mean, running outside is not like that much harder. If anything, it's probably just because it's like hot outside, but yeah, I made those songs forever ago. Yeah, I like making music, dude. I like making the rap. I like making the Giga Stoic. But I don't know, dude, that little music mashup that I just made, like, that's got just about as much views as my other videos are getting, so. Rainbow. Let's go. Man on the Silver Mountain. Dio's badass. Yo, and that drummer, I was wondering if he's dead. That drummer was called Cozy Powell. I was going to say, yo, if Cozy Powell's dead, Vinnie Paul's sick, but that would be like a more stylistically matched up drummer for that super band you were talking about. But yeah, Rainbow is sick. I'm trying to remember the name of that song. Has like the long drum intro. whatever it is. Rainbow's sick. And Black Sabbath with Dio is sick. And then Dio's solo project. You're just a rainbow in the dark. Do 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 do. When there's lightning, you know it always brings me down. Just a rainbow in the dark. You're hurting my feelings, Tony. Yeah, so there's not really a reason I stopped live streaming. I told myself, oh yeah, well no shit, Aussie era's better, dude. This is kind of a hot take. I might like Ozzy's solo project better than Black Sabbath. It's just a little bit more like pure rock and roll. Like Black Sabbath is more like doom, dark. Black Sabbath is sick, but I really like Ozzy's just solo shit, dude. He's got Randy Rhoads on guitar. It's just like a little bit more pure rock and roll. It's got like an 80s tone. The drums sound a little bit. The tone's just like a little bit more modern. It's all good, though. Yeah, this is a lot of coffee, man. This is a lot of fucking coffee. I'm amped up. Summer has been a little underwhelming, but good overall. Finally getting back to a point where I don't have any injuries. The pelvic floor thing wasn't that big of a deal. So I do a lot of stomach vacuums and Kegels. I do Kegels, bro. That helps develop your pelvic floor. There's a YouTube channel that talks about how you can heal a hernia without getting surgery. I had a hernia when I was 4 years old. Because my parents let me carry a gallon of milk. So I might have a weak pelvic floor because of that, but yeah, that feels like it's on its way out. But summer has been pretty tame. Hell yeah, bro. I still do my Qigong. Qigong every day. I'm starting to just do it like at the gym after my workout. Because you want to do it, you want to make sure you haven't eaten for an hour before you do any kind of meditation or breath work. That's just kind of a rule of thumb. That can be hard sometimes. If you just randomly snack throughout the day, then it's like, well, now I can't meditate or anything. But do my Qigong at the gym. And then I've started meditating every night. I'll like just be in silence, try to have a blank mind for 5 minutes. Then I do the breath of fire, which is like the sharp little out breaths through the nose. I went to a doctor thinking maybe I have a deviated septum. He looked up my nose with a flashlight. He's like, bro, your nose is all swollen. You just have allergies. So I'm taking Claritin now. Claritin, that's just, you know, over the counter. No prescription needed. Just like allergy stuff. So there's still a chance I do have a deviated septum, but the Claritin's working all right. My nose breathing like isn't great, but it's whatever. I've had it for so long, dude. I've just kind of learned to live with it. Okay, so I keep trying to like figure out what time UFC is and I keep failing. Gotta think Cosmot wins, dude. Gotta think Kamzat wins. Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. That's a good fight. Well, yeah, I was telling myself if I did live streams, I just want them to be kind of chill. I don't want to get all like worked up. It kind of feels like a drug, dude. People who stream all the time, I've seen it so much now that I haven't streamed for months. I see all these other people who are addicted to streaming. It's like a drug, bro. It's like, give me attention. Fucks with your dopamine shit. Straight edge, baby. No drugs for this chud. But yeah, summer has been pretty alright. Everything's just kind of like bland, bro. Life is just kind of bland. I try to stay busy. Doing my thing. I beat Breath of Fire 2. That was fun. Yo, the plot of Breath of Fire 2 is like some Gnostic pagan shit for sure. They're talking about like their true dragon gods, and then they're like not happy with this church that forces itself on everybody. Definitely kind of like a Gnostic, kind of a pagan thing going on in the Breath of Fire 2 game. And you fight God at the end. It's so edgy and cringe. Woo! Took me a while to get used to this coffee, but now I'm kind of flowing with it. Now we're kind of flowing. So the gym is going awesome lately. I switched things up. Pre-exhaustion is basically the theme. So on leg day, I start with Bulgarian split squats on the Smith machine. Then I go do squats. And then on chest, I start with incline dumbbell. Then I go to the bench press. Back, I don't really feel the need to do that on back. I just pull-ups is the main focus on back day. But yeah, you know, it feels like I'm getting so much more sore doing that, and I don't have to use as heavy a weight. My freaking glutes get sore every time I do leg day. That tells me that my glutes are like underdeveloped. You know, guys, I know I used to like talk a lot about my personal life on my channel, but that's not how we do it anymore. That's not how we do it anymore, baby. Let's go. We got Duke here. Completely randomly decided to go live. Glad some peeps can show up. Yeah, we were just talking about the gym. So I start with Bulgarian split squats on the Smith machine before I do squats on leg day. That's been a game changer. Like one leg at a time squats, and you put one leg on the bench. And then before I hit the bench press, I do incline dumbbell. So it's like pre-exhausting. So by the time I get to the bench press, I'll just do like 135, you know, the 45 plates, or maybe a little bit more for a few sets of 8 to 10. But that gets me really sore. I was starting to kind of get into the heavier weights again. I basically got back to where I was. As far as like how strong I've gotten, it's about as strong as I was when I was like 24. When I was at my peak. The glory days that I always talk about. And people in my chat were giving me shit like, oh, but you can't do that now. Yeah, I got 185 for a set of 5. I got stuck there. For like 3 days in a row recently, I got a set of 5 with 185 on bench. But that's how strong I was in the peak of my strength. And now I have that strength in like, now I got cardio and MMA skills. So it's pretty solid, dude. Like, I was that strong when all I did was lift weights. Now I'm that strong, and lifting weights isn't even really the focus. So I'm happy with that. My legs were stronger, though. My legs were stronger because I was leaner. But, you know, I got to like a set of 6 with 225. I'll bet my legs are going to keep getting stronger. My legs need some work. My glutes are kind of underdeveloped. You got to get back in there, the villain. Yeah, just keep doing your thing, Duke. Like I said, I had a pelvic floor scare because of stupid RDLs. Dude, I've injured myself with every kind of deadlift. Every single kind of deadlift I've injured myself. I think it's part of how I'm built. You know, I got like the pelvic tilt, weak glutes, weak abs, tight hamstrings. I got to work on all of that. I just don't need to go that heavy for any kind of deadlift, bro. That's not what I need to do. It's not worth getting injured. I still do them, though. I still do RDLs on leg day. Oh, dude, gym's totally a waste of time, bro. I'm destroying my body. I have creatine, but I haven't been taking it. I was thinking about loading creatine again. I've been meaning to get the creatine going again. I'm loving the Hindu image. Loving it. I get more like happy chemicals when I run. The MMA days are the shit, dude. I feel like a boss. Yesterday was sick. 3-minute round shadow wrestling. Like, I have my timer that goes for 8 rounds. And I'll do a shadow wrestling for the first round and then jump rope for the last round. I did 8 rounds. 6 of them were shadow boxing. First one shadow wrestling, last one jump rope. And then I did another 3 rounds on the little bag that they have at the gym. So I did a lot of rounds yesterday. Then I did hit some abs. I got a shower. Well, if squatting hurts, then just use less weight. I think I got some skills, man. For my size, you know, I'm not trying to go pick fights with people, but it would be cool if I was just working on grappling. If I just had somebody that I could like wrestle with a lot. It would be cool to do jiu-jitsu, but I mean, if it was up to me, we would just like do takedowns. Do some work where we just try to take each other down. And then every now and then just let it play out on the ground. Just like grappling practice, dude. I need to get in there and grapple with some people. Essential salts. There's a song by Nile called The Essential Salts. Shit goes hard. Work up to an amateur fight. Yeah, that'd be pretty ballsy. Yeah, so I kind of lost my steam on that audiobook, Thus Spoke Zarathustra. It's really long. I'm probably going to get into Schopenhauer. Dude, I really enjoy listening to videos about Schopenhauer. I think that's kind of how I see the world, is how Schopenhauer sees the world. It's like the will. His main work is the will as representation. The world is will and representation. And the will just desires things. See, the way the Catholic Church talks about things is like love is positive, and then darkness is like the absence of love. Darkness is like the absence of good, and then good is like the thing. Schopenhauer's is the opposite, where the thing is suffering, And then happiness is the absence of suffering. Kind of think that makes more sense. Like when you get something you want in life, you're just kind of like satiating your suffering for a little bit, but then it comes right back. Dude, Schopenhauer is like the chud philosopher. He was red-pilled on women, and then he just basically said life is suffering. He's the one who came up with the idea of the will, and Nietzsche evolved on it and created the will to power. Yeah, so Adam Green's getting pretty popular, and Nick Fuentes is about to be famous. Like, I made a video that I didn't upload talking about Nick Fuentes a little bit. Yeah, Elon Musk, Milo, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Andrew Tate, they all like dogpiled Nick Fuentes at once. So he's about to be more famous than he's ever been. He's more famous than he's ever been, dude. Good for him. And I made that little hater post yesterday, like Sam Hyde is cringe. I hate to be a hater, dude, but honestly, when I watch Sam Hyde, I cringe. I think he's cringe, dude. It's like he's trying to be funny. Like, he's not, like, super funny. He's not super insightful. You know, like, his insights aren't really that good. He's not really that funny. Cringe. And I started, like, I was turning on the collab he did with Nick Fuentes. I was like, oh, yeah, Nick Fuentes and Sam Hyde. This will be good. And I started watching it. I was like, dude, I feel like Sam Hyde is just, like, hanging off of Nick Fuentes' nuts. Regardless of what you think about Nick Fuentes, like, yeah, I still am leaning towards Nick Fuentes being some sort of a psyop, but he's charismatic, dude. Nick Fuentes is funny. Nick Fuentes is smart. It's easy to listen to Nick Fuentes. Sam Hyde is like, it wasn't a good collab. I feel like in Nick Fuentes' head, he was like, why am I doing this? This is cringe. I mean, he's been around for a long time, dude. I remember when he did the TED Talk, when Sam Hyde did the TED Talk. That's back, like, when he was hungry. He was hungry. He wasn't really, like, famous yet. I mean, he was, but he was still working for it. I feel like ever since he had his Adult Swim show, and then he got canceled, and then he went on tour complaining about how he got canceled, and it's like, I just think his ego is kind of out of check. And then one day he just revealed he's 6'5". It's like, oh, Sam Hyde is fucking huge. He's like bigger than everybody. I don't know. I wouldn't even break it down as like, oh, it's because he thinks he's tough and it's because his ego. It's like, he's just cringe. He's just, I just don't enjoy watching him because he's cringe. Somebody out here trying to make my way in the world, and like, I want to be nice. I don't want to be judgmental. You know, that's like the whole Christian thing. Like, judge lest not yea be judged. Be nice to everybody. But at the end of the day, it's show business. People are trying to, like, be famous, and sometimes you just got to be brutally honest, dude. Like, Nick Fuentes is a charisma powerhouse, and I personally think Sam Hyde's cringe. He has a huge audience. Like, obviously, he has an audience. Yeah, I've watched some of their shit. You know, I've watched him on and off over the years. I'll usually watch it for like 10, 20 minutes. And at best, it's like, yeah, I just think it's kind of boring. Like, it's just not really clicking for me. He's a charmer. Yeah, I'll watch America First, like, maybe once a month to just see what's going on. I think it's funny when he roasts the super chats. The super chats are my favorite part. 6'4.5". Rich art school kid. Yeah, we both lived in Boston at the same time. I lived in Boston when Sam Hyde was in Boston. Like, me and him have similar... We say similar shit about living on the East Coast, going to an art school. But he's fucking successful, and, like, art school actually kind of fucking ruined my life. For me, going to music school actually kind of ruined my life. But we're doing all right. We're hanging in there. Yeah, Boston is full of Democrats, dude. Sam Hyde's work ethic goes hard for his dreams. I guess. I don't know. I did like some of his old talks. I used to quote his old talks all the time, like cutting out toxic people. I bring up that video all the time. I've never voted in my life, dude. If I did vote Democrat next election, it'd be the first time I've ever voted. I've never registered to vote. I've never bothered with voting. Yeah, I lived in Boston from when I first started going to Berkeley, winter 2009, and then I left right before the summer of 2014. So I spent some years in Boston, solid 5 years in Boston. Tufts. I met a girl from Tufts, dude. So cringe, dude. I met her on the train. Like when I was taking the bus from the airport, I met this girl from Tufts. She was cute. She had a big butt. And I should have asked her out then. But then I looked her up on Facebook. I was like, hey, remember me? We met on the train. And it was over. And it was over. If I would have asked her out on the train, maybe that would have happened. But over. Tufts is like a really good school. All those schools. And then, yeah, Nick Fuentes went to Boston College. That's one of them Jesuit schools. That's one of them Jesuit schools. Yo, shout outs to Jeem, by the way. I feel like I was kind of, I don't know. Jeem was really nice to me. I just want to say I've seen that Jeem is streaming again. Ever since I've been talking about Gnosticism, he kind of like stopped talking to me, but Jeem was always really nice to me. He has like he's kind of like an established platform. You know, he debated Adam Green and like he was trying to collab with me, dude. Jeem was like, yo, we should collab sometime. Like he was really nice to me, dude. So Jeem, you're a cool guy, dude. And if you still want to work out a collab down the line, I don't know. I'm sure we could figure something out. I don't know. I feel like I was coming at Jeem with some kind of normie energy, but he's cool. Jeem's cool. Thank you for being nice to me. I played football at Tufts. Football players, man. Hard to fuck with a football player. My biggest critique about football players is like, you're like killing yourselves, dude. If you did anything other than like smash into guys your own size, you'd be unstoppable. But all those years you spend playing football, like guys who are the same size as you, which is like a rare size, are fucking you up, dude. Like a linebacker is like a rare 250, 300-pound beast or bigger. But then you smash into other guys who are your same size and you're fucking killing yourself. You should just go mog the world. But that's why they make the big bucks. That's why they make the big bucks, baby. Gnostic informant. You know what's crazy, dude? I told you guys that I used to kind of be friends with the Pythagorean Illuminati. They turned me on to his channel way back in like 2016. So he might be affiliated. I have reason to believe that like those Pythagorean Illuminati boys might be kind of aligned with Adam Green and all this shit. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I had connections to those guys like way back in 2016, bro. And now they're kind of like circling back around. Oh my gosh, dude, whatever. I don't care, dude. That's like some narcissistic shit when a couple like breaks up over and over and over again. Dude, it's over. That was like when I was in high school. There would be these couples, they'd break up, and then they'd hook up at a party. And it would just happen over and over and over again. They just want attention, bro. They're trying to stay relevant. Like, if they just stay together, then nobody cares. Like, oh, I had sex with my girlfriend last night. It's like, yeah, she's your girlfriend. But so they break up, and then they hook up at a party. They're just trying to get attention. Oh, man, my legs are sore. Yeah, shit, I was going to start getting on a rant about East Coast people. You're saying, like, you hated the liberals over there, the Democrats, dude. Shyness, man. I made that video, Shyness is a Killer of Men. Oh, bros. Boston, man. I mean, it's pretty much already been said in my videos. I should have never went back to Kodiak. The summers, I should have tried to get work, stayed in Boston. Like, I definitely just kind of blew it, man. The pressure was on. The pressure was on. I needed to try to make it in Boston, and I just couldn't really live up to it. But in my defense, nobody was giving me good advice. Nobody was really trying to help me make it, bro. And people from Kodiak were like being dicks on my Facebook, pointing out that I was going bald and shit. I should have just fucking blocked them, bro. I should have. The first time these people started being dicks to me on my Facebook, I should have just blocked them. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, obsessed with the past. We've been down these roads. That's all I'll say about it. I've already said it a million times, but I could have did better in Boston. I could have did so much better, man. I needed to try harder. Anytime people saw me play drums, they said I was good. Like, I had a reputation at Berkeley, bro. Mike Mangini, who ended up joining Dream Theater, he'd see me in the hallway and he'd be like, Jake, how was fishing in Alaska, man? And other drummers would see it. Other drummers would see that Mike Mangini was like stoked to see me, and they'd be like, damn, this guy's like cool with Mike Mangini. I had so much potential, boys. But I fucking blew it! Yeah! Dude, I want to do like a Pearl Jam style band. Like Pearl Jam, Creed, but then maybe some like Dio. Make like dad rock songs about how I blew it. I blew it! Yeah, yeah! I fucking blew it! Yeah, yeah! Refused to ever go into NYC. Dude, I took a really mischievous trip to NYC. I had a friend that I knew from arts camp. I went to Sitka Fine Arts Camp in Alaska. And this guy we called Hazmat because he dressed up in like a hazmat costume, so we called him Hazmat. He was going to this school in the Bronx. It was like a Catholic school in the Bronx. And he's like, bro, you should come up to NYC and visit. We'll hang out and get high. I took a bus up for the weekend. And man, that was a total misadventure. Just like smoked a shit ton of weed, walking around NYC. This university that he was going to was so ghetto. There was people like banging in the hallways. Like people would be sitting on a couch playing Halo. And then there was this other couple like banging on the couch. And he had some like dude bro frat friend. I was talking, dude, I talked some shit like I was going to fight him. I don't know how that would have went. I might have been over in my head, but he was like really drunk and he was starting to like slam dressers. He was like slamming a dresser and I looked over at my friend. I was like, do you want me to deal with this guy, bro? And then the other guy like looked over and heard me say that and he looked at me and I could tell what he's thinking. He's like, you're small, dude. I think this guy could fuck you up. But I was like, you want me to deal with this guy, bro? And he's like, no, it's good, man. But I felt like I was going to be able to deal with this guy. I don't know, though. He was some cocky guy wearing a polo. NYC is a shithole. I went to the St. Vitus bar. That's like a metal bar there. Yeah, I did this and that on the East Coast, man. That was very clearly, looking back, that was my time to like fucking stand up and get it. That was time for me to like go outside, shake hands, make contacts. That was my time, dude. And I fucking drank a bunch of booze, smoked a bunch of weed, hung out with like the wrong kind of people, and I blew it. It has very clearly been over ever since then. Like as soon as I went to Vegas, it was like, oh shit. It's very clearly over. I don't know, guys. This is feeling pretty legit. Like, I did message a couple of people when I stopped streaming. I was like, hey, just so you know, dude, I'm not going to stream. I don't want to get back into, like, regular streams. But I think maybe just like today, I'll just randomly go live every once in a blue moon. Check in with the chuds. I've been kind of running out of ideas for videos. I wouldn't read too much into me saying I'm a Democrat, dude. It's like, but I kind of am. Economically, like, I think healthcare should be free, like it is in Europe. I think we need the European healthcare, bro. Play box year-round, have hockey background. I've kind of like stopped complaining about boomers so much. Not that my opinions have changed on it, but okay, here's a shot I can fire at somebody, dude. And this doesn't come from a place of like nastiness, but I'll just be honest. You guys know the channel Deconstructing Narcissism? He's commented on my shit a couple of times. I've commented on his shit. The guy Deconstructing Narcissism, sometimes I listen to his videos and he sounds like a whiny little bitch, dude. Sorry, bro. Maybe if he hears that, he can like learn. Maybe he can try, like, dude, sometimes Deconstructing Narcissism, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to put on a, oh shit, or is the video dying? I'll be like, I'm going to put on a Deconstructing Narcissism video. This will be cozy. And I listen to him complain about boomers or whatever, and I'm like, dude, this guy just sounds really, really fucking whiny. Like, snap out of it, bro. And clearly I've been there. But maybe he even kind of helped me look at myself. It's like, do I sound like this sometimes? And his channel's doing better than mine. But that's a formula for success. Like if you just every single video, boomers were mean to me. Boomers had it so good. We can't make money anymore. The economy's ruined. Like that's a formula to grow your channel, bro. But you start getting sucked into the hole and you start turning yourself into like a fucking complainer so you can get views. And I got to say, that's part of why I backed away from live streaming. Like, it's all been said and done, dude. It's all been said and done. There's a lot of people who want to circle around the toilet bowl and listen to that kind of shit all day. No, yeah, I get it, dude. I totally get it. And, you know, deconstructing narcissism, if you hear this, it's like, it's not that I don't like your channel. It's very cozy at times, but maybe you just need that little extra nudge. It's like sometimes, dude, you just sound whiny, bro. You're a good-looking guy. You probably have a better shot at getting laid than I do. Just like, somebody needs to say it. Sometimes you sound like a bitch. Figure it out. Somebody needs to say it. But yeah, he's in the fucking meat grinder. He's in the meat grinder. And it does sound like his parents were pretty fucked up, so. I mean it in the nicest way possible. I'm Gen X and I hate it when people refer to Gen X as boomers. Yeah, I'm just kind of calming down on all that shit. You guys, it's like, it gets to a point where it's like, you need to try to figure out how to make your life better. Boomers had it better than us. They did. They had to work. The thing is like, boomers had to work, but they had an opportunity to get work. And even before they got the good jobs, it wasn't as demoralizing to have a shitty job. Like every boomer's origin story is like, oh, I was sweeping floors at the bowling alley, cleaning toilets at the bowling alley, I was working at the mall. But you could get a hot girlfriend doing that. You could make enough money to have fun, and you could get a hot girlfriend. Like, it wasn't as bad. And then, you know, you got the experience, and then you got a better job. Like, boomers just had to show up, and they were able to climb the ranks. Whereas it's getting to a point where our generation is like, it just feels pointless. It feels pointless, dude. Like, women don't want to date guys at bottom level jobs. Good luck even getting the bottom level job. And good luck ever climbing out of that bottom level job. So, I hear it, bro. It's tough love. I'm trying to give some tough love. It's like, I want to see people evolve, bro. I want to see people move forward. He's tall? Chad Light? Who, deconstructing narcissism? I'm about ready to make that video, dude. I'm thinking about making a video like, damn, Reformed Stoic's a Chad. And then just film myself trying to look sexy. I don't know, that sounds kind of gay, I guess. But I'm looking good. I've been doing lots of stomach vacuums. I pretty much have abs, boys. I pretty much have abs. I'm pretty much there. My goal is to just get a noticeably good frame so my bald head doesn't look as bad, bro. I'm in the church dimension, the chud dimension. My boomer parents severely sabotaged me, especially my mom. It's a common story, bro. So I was gonna make a video about this. I'll just tell you guys. There's an exercise I came up with. Make a list of everybody that you know who's died, and then everybody that you know who was a piece of shit narcissist, and then everybody that you know that like struggled in life. Like they either got on drugs or they went to jail or something really fucked up happened to them, like their house was destroyed in a tornado. And then that's pretty much it. And then just look at that list. Like, damn, these are all the people I know who have died. These are all the people I know who were like horrible people. And these are all the people I know who like dealt with something really fucked up. Something about looking at that list just kind of helps put things into perspective. And then maybe you could have a list of everybody that you perceive has a perfect life. Like, And then these are all the Giga Chads who have like perfect lives. But it started with just making a list of everybody who died. Dude, I made a list of everybody I know who died. And it's like, damn, dude. 12. There's 12 people on this list. And there's more. There's people that I forgot. There's like 14 or 15, dude. I know a lot of dead people, bro. And how does that help? It's like, you know, at least I'm still kicking. At least I'm still in it. Still crazy after all these years. Worst of a flea, totally. Ooh, man. Yeah, I was like, let's switch it up today. Let's go get an iced coffee and some breakfast sandwiches. And I'm never going to do that ever again. There's no reason to do that, dude. So what did I miss here? My thing is no one owes anyone shit. You make what you get. Play the hand you're dealt. I hate that saying, dude. Play the hand you're dealt. That's such a... I get what you mean. It's like, you gotta play the hand you're dealt. I got a fucking 3 and a 9. And they're not suited. Oh, well, shuck, bucko, bucko. Just play that dang old 3 and a 9. Okay, I'm all in. Well, you never go all in on a 3 and a 9, bucko. But you said play the hand that you're dealt. Yeah, you see, bucko? I guess theoretically, you got dealt a shitty hand. And then you play that hand, and then you lose. It's like, so wait, life is like one hand of poker? Well, that sucks. That's the most black-pilled shit ever. You see, bucko, life is like one hand of poker. Yeah, I can agree with that. And that's black-pilled as shit. I'm just existing, boys. I'm determined to get a white girl, bro. I want to get me a white girl and have white children. But it's hard for me to describe where I'm at right now. Dude, check this shit out. Jungian archetype oracle cards. So what you do with these is you shuffle them and you draw one. And they're Jungian archetypes. And then whatever card you draw, the Herald. And the art's really weird. Like, people were saying, like, I don't know how this art is supposed to embody the archetype, but you kind of meditate on it, and then you read what it means. Number 12, the Herald. And that's supposed to be like a relevant archetype to what you're going through. Some people might be like, oh, that's divination. I don't really think it's divination. It's like a meditation exercise. Every change in the fate of the celestials and the history of mortals, which repeats itself in a cycle through the ages, announces the herald messenger with a powerful voice and a golden trumpet blast. A varied and multiform creature, a massacre that annihilates peoples in revolt, sudden storm that shakes ships, a ring and a magical artifact. The herald separates the quiet and luminous before from the uncertain and dark after. He tears the veil between the horizontal and blue world of birth and the oblique purple and black descent. The prime motive for every change, it transforms the soul who accepts the adventure with fear and hope. The journey and the descent into the underworld, between the lakes of ice and sulfur, into the horrid, deep belly of the mysterious monster. As the eternal child, Hermes the messenger, he flies and swiftly breaks through the subtle limits of the worlds. His is a siren song calling to the soul that listens. Vocal prodigy in the circular, changeless world, he reveals to the dormant soul the luminous paths of no return. The journey begins for those who cannot return. So this is like the beginning of a journey, dude. Sounds good to me. Not especially long, villain. Maybe like 10, 15 minutes. I'll do like a 3-minute warm-up, just trying to clear your mind. Then I do a few cycles of the fire breath. And then I end on like another 3 to 5 minutes of meditation. Sometimes I do the chakra syllables. But I don't think you need to do it for like super long periods of time. And I do the full lotus position. My dad taught me that in his karate class when I was a lad. Been having very vivid dreams lately. I'm remembering all my dreams. They're very strange. They're hard to even explain sometimes. Last night it was like I was in an abandoned house in the woods, but like it wasn't even really a house, dude. Like it was just the woods. It's like the woods had rooms. It's like the woods was a house. It's very strange. All right, buckos. Well, I think I'm about ready to wrap it up here. I'm going to leave this stream up. You see, if I was to start live streaming again, this is how I'd want it to be. I don't think I said anything that I regret. I don't think I said anything that's like I wouldn't mind leaving up. Got a little bit goofy at times, but kind of just chilling, checking in. A little bit of discussion. Gotta think it's Kamzat, dude, but I just don't feel confident. I don't feel confident with my predictions anymore. But I feel like it's gotta be Kamzat. He just seems unstoppable. I think that maybe he wins by ground and pound on the ground. Ground and pound or a sub on the ground. Kamzat in the first 3 rounds. All right, gang. Well, no plans for streams in the future, but you know, if you guys wouldn't mind leaving some comments on my videos, that's easy to do. Hit the like button. Really trying to push to get people to buy my book if you haven't. If you do, please leave a review. And yeah, we're just going to keep on keeping on, bros. Pico. I'll have to look into who that is. I'm rooting for the boar. Real. All right, y'all. Well, yeah, you know, it's like a first stream back. It's like the first time getting high. And then you're kind of just chasing that high every other time. So I think we're just going to like leave this one up. Help my channel out a little bit. But I'm going to try to get back to the videos. I'm going to try to get back to the other content. That last AMV I did is doing pretty good. If people like seeing those are fun to make. But it seems like everything I do is just once in a blue moon. Like, it's hard to consistently make music, consistently make mashups. Usually the mashups don't really do that good. I've been struggling to think about what kind of videos I want to make lately. I never got around to it. I'll just end talking about this a little bit. Adam Green is getting really, really, really popular. The whole pagan thing. Duke, you're into that, I guess. I don't really think that's even a debate, bro. That's more just like an opinion, you know? If you think Christianity is a psyop and you think it's better to be a pagan, you know, it sounds like most people over there, their mind is made up. And I'm not a religious zealot. I'm still kind of floating around in like maybe I'm some sort of a Marcionite or a Gnostic kind of a thing, but it would be different if I had like a strong, like if I was still a Catholic or something, but in a way, I agree with a little bit of what they say, but it's more like specific denominations of Christianity. The only real answer is that dispensationalism, you know, if you watch the videos about the Schofield Bible, dispensationalism, that's where the whole Zionist movement comes from. Yeah, dude, he worked for the NSA. Adam Green worked for the NSA, bro. And there's a video where he's apologizing for it. He's like, oh, you know, I just drove up to the window and delivered the packages, but he had security clearances and he worked for the NSA. So that's all that really needs to be said about that. But I think the reason that their movement is doing so well is because it's not really a debate, dude. It's like name calling, and a lot of those people have their minds made up. And that's pretty much what it is, dude. So I'd be more interested in just having a discussion with Adam Green, but with me, people probably it's easy for them to just write me off as a nobody. And it's whatever. Vosh. What can I really say about Vosh, bro? What even needs to be said about Vosh? Yes, they do, Richie. And that is my theory about Nick Fuentes. I think that all those people who just dogpiled Nick Fuentes, they're pushing him into the spotlight. Dude, Elon Musk runs X. It's irresponsible for Elon Musk to even acknowledge people like Nick Fuentes. If he doesn't if Elon Musk doesn't like somebody, then just don't even talk about him, dude, because you're like the most famous guy on the planet. So yeah, I think that Nick Fuentes is like the chosen asset. He's a beast. He's smart. He's charismatic. The most nobody somebody ever. Yeah. Yeah, he has some good takes. No, I mean, I like his take on Adam Green. You know what he said about Adam Green is like, that guy's like a charcoal filter, dude. The kind of people leaving Christianity because of him, screw him. Like, we're better off. Like, he's doing a service. He's doing a service. The people that he filters out of Christianity, like, are stupid. That's all that Nick Fuentes said about Adam Green. But I just don't really care, dude. Why do I care what people believe? You know, why do I need people to believe what I believe? But yeah, Zeus had a little boy lover named Ganymede. That's how I've been trolling those guys. Zeus had a little boy lover named Ganymede. So I'm just saying what Nick Fuentes said, Duke. I'm just saying what Nick Fuentes said. I don't know, man. I don't know if Christianity is dying. When I became a Christian, there was like a resurgence. Like, when I was growing up, everybody was kind of becoming atheist. Then all of a sudden, like, Christianity was making a resurgence, and that's kind of like the rise of Trump and the rise of the alt-right. But yeah, now the alt-right is kind of trying to split off into paganism, but I don't really think Christianity's dying, bro. But I mean, what even is Christianity? It's a bunch of different denominations. There's so many different denominations that aren't even really on the same team. Life is just going to happen, man. It's like when you want to become a debate, when you want to be like a Jay Dyer, it's like, I'm going to destroy everyone. I'm going to obliterate everyone who disagrees with me. It's like you're trying to like control the chaos. And from my perspective, people like Jay Dyer are probably assets. They're probably controlled. So somebody like me who doesn't even like, clearly they don't want me to have a platform. So when I try to like control stuff, it's just like, dude, why don't you just let it go? Why don't you just let the flow of life happen? Why don't you just let people believe what they want to believe? I think at the end of the day, the truth will shine through. Duke, that movement that you turned me on to, like, you sent me Handsome Truth. All those people talk about is Christianity. Same with Adam Green. All Adam Green and Handsome Truth talk about is Christianity, dude. They don't even really say anything about paganism. Like, all they talk about is how much they hate Christianity. They're like atheists. They do the same thing that atheists do. And it's like, they're more focused on what they're not than what they are. And that's what people point out about Adam Green. It's like, well, what do you believe? It's like a tactic, you know? He doesn't want to reveal his beliefs. He just wants to attack other people's beliefs. And Roosh. Nick Fuentes probably is a narcissist, dude. That's the best way to make it in this world, guys. Well, I can tell you what, man. At the beginning of the United States, Christianity was white. But the thing about their platform is that if I even start trying to just fully address it unfiltered, I'm going to get in trouble. You cover some really muddy waters when you start saying the shit that they're talking about, dude. Like, I'll get a hate speech strike because it starts covering white nationalism, and they say really extreme shit, dude. Like, oh, Christianity never handled business, you know? Like, I can't even talk about it, bro. I'll get a hate speech strike. And how many times has that happened on my channel? How many times has that happened on my channel? I get a hate speech strike because I'm trying to address what I perceive as a psyop. Well, it seems like that's kind of by design. Seems like that's by design. Let's go on Rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. These guys have such a fucking tight grip, dude. Don't you see the game, boys? I'm already struggling to stay relevant. Oh yeah, let's go to Rumble. They know my channel will die on Rumble, bro. I'm just barely hanging on to the tiny little audience that I have. Oh yeah, let's go spend time and effort on Rumble. It'll be the death of me, boys. It's a brutal game. It's a brutal game, guys. They got a monopoly. They got a monopoly on the game. But I can just tell you this, man. Christianity is not going to die. Yeah, I'm doing my thing on X. Usually some random tweet will get traction. It has been, Richie. When I go look at my subs, they followed my account with a bunch of bots, and then they unfollow with their bots. That's how they control my algorithm. Like, I watch it happen, dude. I watch it happen. And it's Intrepid Corp, and it's Operation Earnest Voice, dude. They can control massive amounts of bots' accounts, and they just unfollow with a bunch of bots, and that's how they control my algorithm, dude. And then they do the opposite. And then they do the opposite for the channels that they blow up. I mean, dude, I was trying to debate Nick Fuentes once back in the day, which I know was cringe. Like, I wasn't popular enough, but people were calling my parents, dude. People were calling and harassing my parents when I was trying to debate Nick Fuentes. Like, I think he's probably tied to Intrepid Corp, bro. Like, Lance Cottrell had a book called Dark Money and the Rise of Right-Wing Figures. I mean, it's to a point, guys, where it's like, I think I see what's going on, and now it's like, do I want to try to make a big noise and get a bunch of attention? And I tried, dude, and we all saw what happened. We all saw what happened, bro, when I tried to get a bunch of attention. Like, I think everybody who has a platform is put there artificially. Basically, they're all feds, but that's not necessarily their title, but everybody who has a platform is put there artificially, dude. These contracting agencies, these defense contractors like Intrepid Corp, they control the entire internet. It's not that hard to do. You don't think they have the technology to do that? And I know how it works. You see it all over IP2, dude. The accounts that are like Bleach, you know, what is that? Clorox Bleach or Blades Rotten Toe. Those are Intrepid Corp accounts, bro. They create all these fucking throwaway accounts and they give them stupid names to make them blend in. They control all of those fucking accounts. They give people artificial audiences. IP2 is a harassment network. The objective of IP2 is to make every streamer stop streaming. And the only streamers they don't harass are operatives. So all the streamers who like get smoke blown up their ass, like JJ, they're operatives who are contracted to blend into the network. And every organic streamer, like Vegan Patriot, is harassed and swatted and doxxed until they give up streaming. So they add people to the network and they use their fucking army of shills to try to force people to stop streaming, bro. And then the people are like, yeah, baked Alaska, yeah, chicken. Those guys are all operatives, dude. Feds, like, dude, they're connected to fucked up gangs and Satanism, and it's all evil as fuck, dude. And then Intrepid Corp. It's evil as fuck, dude. I stumbled into some really fucked up shit on the internet, and I understand how it all works. So it's like, should I try to make a bunch of noise and get a bunch of fucking attention on me? And like, we all saw how that goes down, bro. I'm just trying to live my little slice of life, do my little fucking thing. I'm praying for everybody, dude. I remember Zobeezy saying that he was getting harassed. It's a gang. That shit is a gang, dude. I don't know if he's deep with Palantir, but that's the same thing, dude. That's a defense contractor. Defense contractors run the internet, guys. The internet is not free. Was television free? No, dude. I mean, they probably roped him into his gang. I remember watching his live stream and he said people were fucking with him, dude. I think maybe they were trying to get me to join. They might have been trying to get me to join, dude. It's a fucking gang. I remember Chicken burned a Bible on his fucking live stream. Like, it's evil, man. It's evil. And y'all have seen me have doubts about my faith as a Christian. And I see that people, they perceive it in a way where it's like, oh, Stoic's ready to be turned because he's a Gnostic. I feel like a lot of people don't understand Gnosticism, but I think I'm more of a Marcionite than a Gnostic. But it's like, I just like Jesus, bro. I like what Jesus taught. I think as an empath, I understand that those morals are important. I think as an empath, I understand that those morals are important. But I'm just on the side of good, bro. Whatever the side of good is, that's the side that I'm on. And I think Jesus defined good. I've made it clear that I don't think the Old Testament really mattered. I think maybe it was made up, dude. They might have just made up the Old Testament. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Maybe Yahweh's the demiurge. Maybe he's really God. I don't even think it matters. I think following what Jesus taught is what matters, bro. We already have a Stasi, bro. Check out AmericanStasi.com. Somebody that I grew up with in Kodiak, it was revealed that his family is like a Stasi family, dude. It's so fucking clear to me, dude. One time me and him were smoking up in a car, and a cop was walking up to us. I'm like, oh, we're so fucked, bro. And he saw that it was my friend in the car. He's like, all right, you guys have a good night. You guys have a good night. Because his family is like high-level military police. His fucking dad like busted drug dealers in submarines, dude. So the cops don't fuck with him. So the cops let him go. Because his family is fucking hooked up with the secret police in Kodiak, dude. Kodiak's a fucking military-occupied town. Some guy was just hitting me up in my comments on one of my videos, talking about how he's getting gang-stalked in Kodiak. It's already here, guys, and it's just going to become more evident as time goes on, and it's like, you want to try to create inner peace. You want to try to create, like, inner peace within yourself, and that's what my message is about, man. That's what my message is. Thing is, Duke, is like, I don't think you're stupid for wherever your beliefs are at, man. Like, the truth is that this kind of shit that Adam Green is teaching, I was already getting sucked into that in like 2016. That's kind of like what I believed before I became a Christian, dude. And I'm not saying that like I know better now or I'm so fucking smart and above it. It's just like the way that those guys are talking is very like, it's getting wrapped up in something dark, man. It's getting wrapped up in some dark shit. Like, oh, they didn't have the balls to kill these people. And I think the reason people are able to do it, the reason that Western society has been able to be parasited on is because the wicked have advantages over the good. Does that mean that everybody should be wicked? No. Is it possible for the good to defeat the wicked? Yeah. But the Bible did kind of say this is what was going to happen. So good thing about internet is it's too big and the governments are too unified to completely fuck people over without causing mutual destruction. Man, they're going for the IDs. They want people to show ID to have access to the internet. Things are coming, dude. A corrective period of extremism. Well, I mean, for me to answer something like that, It's just Reformed Stoic 101. Feds are everywhere. Feds control the internet. They're looking for extremists. They want to trick you into being an extremist because they want to fuck you up, dude. It's like a big 6'5" linebacker who wants to kick your ass, but you have to like do something for it to be justified. He wants to trick you into getting into a fight with him because he knows he can't lose. And then that's black-pilled, and it's like, oh, that's hopeless, but I read it in a book a long time ago, man. Somebody was traveling with aliens in their dreams or spirits in their dreams, and they told them this world is predatory, and if you try to intervene, you're going to get fucked. If you try to intervene with the predatory nature of the world, like JFK, like Tupac, like Martin Luther King, and you might cringe at some of the examples, but just off the top of my head, Martin Luther King, Tupac, Michael Jackson, these people tried to intervene with the predatory nature of the world, bro. You will be destroyed and have an example made of you. And that's why I've kind of concluded this is some sort of like a hell realm. And I think a lot of Christianity comes from a place of fear. Because that's why I stopped being a Catholic, bro. It's like, it's not that I don't believe in hell. Jesus spoke in parables. Jesus spoke in a way that was kind of confusing. And I think there's room. It's like, there is a hell. Jesus did talk about hell. But I think maybe it's just samsara. I think this life is hell. And then the kingdom of heaven is beyond this life. And it's not something that you're meant to be afraid of. I think the spirit trap people, the soul trap, don't go into the light. I think that's a psyop. You're just supposed to stop being afraid, man. It's like, oh, this is a roller coaster ride. This life is a roller coaster ride. And then shit around you panics like, no, it's not a roller coaster ride. Look, I'm doxing you. Oh, look how scary life is. It's like, it's a roller coaster ride. It's all part of the roller coaster ride. And once you just see that life is a ride, all the ups and downs, and you have to get rid of the fear of lack. It's like, oh, I'm afraid that I'm going to die alone. I'm afraid that I'm never going to get laid. I'm afraid that I'm going to run out of money. And those are all real concerns. Like, yeah, you'll struggle with money. You'll struggle with women. But interestingly enough, what's going to help you overcome, this is a ride. And I believe that things will be okay. I believe that I'll probably have some more success with women. I'll probably figure out how not to be homeless. It's just a ride, bro. And it's all going to be okay. But who gets triggered by that? The church. No, it's not just a ride. It's really important that you don't burn in hell for all eternity. You're going to get tortured for all eternity by demons. The church is in on it, bro. The church is in on the grift. I don't really think that's what Jesus taught. Just my 2 cents, man. They will make extremists to fulfill their agenda. Yup. But I'll tell you what, that corrective period of extremism, there's a good chance that's going to happen regardless of whether or not you or I or anybody here is involved. A lot of the shit that people think needs to be happen, it's going to happen regardless. It's already coming, dude. We already see where society's headed. Now, I know that's kind of related to like, oh, I don't need to vote for Trump because everybody else is going to vote for Trump. But if everybody thinks like that, then he'll lose. And it's like, if you want to be involved, be involved. But that's collectivism, bro. And down the line, let's say that like, and I know you're not all wrapped up in Adam Green, but let's say down the line, Adam Green's shit takes root. They're going to strap a helmet to your head and be like, are you ready to fight for the cause? Are you ready to fight for white people? And you'll be a soldier with a helmet on your head, fighting for their cause. And then you'll die. And you'll just be a cog. You'll be a cog in something bigger than you. I'm selfish, dude. I feel like philosophers are selfish. It's like, I don't want to die for anybody's cause. I don't want to get in trouble for anybody's cause. I'd rather just, believe what I believe. Watch the fucking world go by. Shit's probably going to happen regardless of whether or not I'm involved. I can tell you this much, guys. As far as live streaming goes, we pretty much covered everything. I gave my thoughts on a little bit of everything. We've been going for an hour and a half. I'm going to leave this VOD up. Maybe I'll stream again in like a fucking month. But I'll just give you guys a heads up. Streams aren't really back. We're just doing this one random stream. And I'm leaving the VOD up. And it's got some juicy info in here that's going to trigger people. And that's it. One and done. Come out of nowhere, blammy, and then disappear. Back to the regular videos. We'll read some of these last comments, and then we're outie, boys. UFC hype. I think it's too easy to bypass technically illegal, but they can't catch y'all. Whatever, dude. Mass deportations. I live under a system like that. It's too hard to enforce something that's that strict to completely fuck people over without causing mutual destruction. Life's going to be interesting, boys. That's my prediction. Keep the popcorn close by. I know y'all are getting curious about my book, boys. It's a good book. It's a fiction story. It's based off of my experience in high school, but it's like if my guardian angel, Milton, could have changed my life in high school and made it better, and there's deep discussions about narcissism and social dynamics. I know y'all are getting curious. I'm sorry. I know $20 is not cheap, but if you want to know more about my philosophy, it's in there, guys, but I'm not going to shove it down your throat. I appreciate you guys. God bless. I'll try to keep the videos coming, and maybe in a month or two, we'll do another live stream. God bless and peace out. Till next time.